dangly parts. I don't know why, I just wanted to say that. Comment down below if you know what I'm referencing. There should be a banner coming up pretty fucking soon. It's generally speculated to be some sort of radiant banner due to the fact that the upcoming Tempest Trials heavily hints at a lot of radiant related stuff, such as the Tempest Trials being named after a chapter, the fact that Nefni, her art exists, and the Black Knight exists. A lot of people are getting like really hype over the Black Knight and the fact that he may potentially be a Grand Hero battle unit in the future. I, however, don't actually share the same optimism. I share the enthusiasm and the hype, but I really don't think we're actually gonna get him as a unit. We know for a fact that IS really hasn't been adding in distant counter weapon units anymore. And I don't think they want to repeat the mistake of Berkut's Lance and calling Black Knight's Sword the Black Knight's Sword and having some stupid-ass, unrelated ability attached to it. So I don't think we're going to be able to obtain the Black Knight. As loath as I am to think that. I don't want to think that, but I can't help but think it, unfortunately. He's probably going to play some sort of role in the small amount of story that we have. Similar to how Xander essentially joined the Emblem forces in the story, if you even remember, or even fucking care about the story. So, it's not unheard of to have units in the game with art, abilities, weapons, etc., combat animations that are unobtainable. I mean, easily take Veronica and Bruno as an example. I will happily be wrong if I am in fact wrong. I will be happily wrong, and I will go out of my way to obtain the Black Knight in whichever form he comes. I will happily be wrong, so don't get me wrong about my opinion. It's not like I'm shitting on the Black Knight. I fucking love him. I love the Path of Radiance. I like the Radiant series as a whole, which kind of transitions into the next point, is speculating on this particular banner, which I was kind of talking about in the first place. Some guy who has a much bigger dick than I do has gone on Reddit proclaiming that the banner is going to have Elincia, Oscar, and Nefni in the banner, with like Black Knight somehow being Tempest Trial reward, which would be also unheard of, but they've also done unheard of things before. So, by saying this guy has a much bigger dick than I do, I mean that because a lot of people who have seen his post, it's been taken down, by the way, have been saying to take this information with a grain of salt, which I am doing. But I don't think it can be ignored that this person just straight up said, oh, here's the upcoming things, this is how it's gonna be, 100%, confidently saying it. Granted, you can take it worth a grain of salt, but I think it's maybe worth 2 grains of salt. The fact that he's proclaiming it thusly. Whereas, how I'm about to speculate, I am not 100% saying for sure. I am definitely speculating with no real evidence or proof to back myself up. I'm just speculating for funsies. So you could essentially take what he said worth more than me, or what I'm about to say. So that's what's out there at the moment. However, I actually think if they were to do some sort of Radiant banner, it could be one of two things, in my opinion. We're going to get the other half of the Grail Mercenaries, which would loosely include something like Rice, and that's R-H-Y-S, not the meme lord, Gatry, the Armored Lance Knight, Shinnon, the Archer, and Boyd, the axe-wielding warrior. If we were to get a banner, those are the units I think we would get. The other, part of the Grail Mercenaries. It would make logical sense, at least to me. Otherwise, they could actually take it in a different direction and slightly unrelated, only slightly because it's still part of the Radiant series, and come out with the Radiant banner, or the Radiant Dawn banner. If they were to do that, however, I think the first units that they would use is the Dawn Brigade. Fucking A. Can't talk today, apparently. Which includes, obviously, Soth and Micaiah, and then Nolan, and then most likely Eduardo. Or Leonardo, that's it. The archer. And I think Edward is the sword user. Those are like the original 5 that I can remember. And I think if they were to leave somebody out, it would probably be the sword user. I may have mixed the two up. But that's the two options I think generally make the most sense upcoming. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Chances are I'm wrong. Maybe the leaker is right. Maybe his shit's not necessarily false. We'll see. I think it'll be fun. I'm actually kind of hoping it's not Oscar or Elincia, just because of the fact I didn't like Elincia much in the game itself. But I've already ranted about that in like past streams and stuff. However, I think if she did come to Heroes, she might be a good unit. Her Amity had a very unique ability. And if I think she came to Heroes, she would come with that legendary weapon. Oscar seems forgettable because he's an axe cavalier. Funny thing was, I actually forgot who Oscar was until I heard he was supposed to be in the Radiant banner because of that leaker. And I was like, oh shit, who the fuck was Oscar? God damn it. So I had to go look him up, and then I realized he was one of the fucking members of the goddamn Grail Mercenaries from the beginning of the goddamn game. And I played that game so many times, and I'm such a huge fan of the game, and yet this one motherfucker was so fucking forgettable that he was like legitimately staring me in the face this whole time, and I didn't realize he was there. He was basically Path of Radiance's version of Kellum in this regard. Oh man. But I think it would be weird to include Oscar in a Radiant banner, considering we've already got Titania, unless they plan on making Oscar bring something super unique to the table, but I don't think they'll be doing that. Getting back on the topic of the Amity, or however you pronounce it, I don't even want to go through the numerous pronunciations going through my head, but that sword is kind of unique. So basically what it did in the game is it acted like a very fancy looking brave weapon, but it also gave the wielder +3 to defense and resistance. So if it came to Fire Emblem Heroes, I think it would essentially be a brave version of the Binding Blade, something like that. If you can imagine it. It would probably have lower might, something like that, and then its bonuses will be constant, probably at either +1, +2. I won't be surprised if it was +1. If it's +1, it'll probably be crap. But if it's a brave weapon, it might be better? Oh, fuck, man. That's probably going to be really hard to balance. But I wanted to mention a couple more things. My cousin, NarlyRage, is going to start streaming Fire Emblem Heroes on Twitch. So if you follow my Twitch link in the description, I'll be hosting him like all the time because I don't like Twitch. The one time I tried to use it, it fucked up on me. So that piece of shit can go die. I pretty much just host him. So you can just follow my link and then get to his Twitch from there. I'm pretty sure he actually has a legitimate schedule, and that's something you guys have been asking for me, and I can't exactly provide it. However, I can point you in the right direction. How about that? But as far as this banner's concerned, I don't know. We'll see what happens. If it's Elincia and Oscar, I'm not even sure if I would pull off that banner, oddly enough. That's weird coming from me.